Brooke here with a quick message for my transfer applicants. If you are currently attending another college or university and want to transfer to USC Viterbi, attend one of our advisement sessions. We host them on select Fridays. You can find more info at viterbi.link/events. That's VITERBI.link/events. And don't worry about rushing to submit your application. The common application for transfer students isn't due until February 15th. Now, let's get that podcast started.
This is Viterbi Voices.
Coming to you from the University of Southern California, Viterbi School of Engineering.
We're here to give you the inside scoop on research, classes, student life, and so much more.
All of these shared by students, faculty, alumni, and other members of the USC community.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Viterbi Voices. As usual, I am one of your hosts. My name is Paul Ledesma. I'm the Executive Director of Undergraduate Admission here at the USC Viterbi School of Engineering.
Hello, everyone. My name is Safia Patel. I'm a senior studying computer science and doing my master's in engineering management, and I'm your other co-host.
And returning to the podcast is another one of our students. I believe this is your second episode or third?
Second or third. Honestly, I lost track at this point.
You lost track. Well, introduce yourself. Let everybody know who you are.
Well, hi, everyone. My name is Taylor. I am a senior studying computer science and business administration, and I graduate next semester. So I'm really excited to be here.
Very exciting.
Are you seriously a senior?
Time
Oh my
passed very
God.
quickly.
That just doesn't track for me. I'm completely lost on that. Taylor, tell people a little bit more about yourself, where you're from, a little bit what you're involved in. Give them a little bit of color. Give them a little bit of life. What's Taylor all about?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Gainesville, Florida. Most people have never heard of it, but if you've heard of the University of Florida or the Gators, that's my hometown. And from there, I've been studying here at USC for the past 4 years. On campus, I'm involved with the National Society of Black Engineers. Been with that club all 4 years, and I'm currently president of the lovely organization. So you guys should check that out if you're ever on campus. Alongside that, I'm really just passionate about STEM outreach and getting out in the community. I'm involved with Scout Science Outreach, where we go to elementary school classrooms and teach STEM experiments to get students interested in STEM early on at a young age. On top of that, I'm really involved with just social outreach when it comes to going to food banks, volunteering in the community, and all those different areas. Outside that, I like to read. I like to eat food. I've ate my way around this entire city and have a whole list to prove for it. And
Okay, prove it. What's the top spot right now? This weekend, you've got, I give you $100. You and a friend are going to
give me
dinner.
an occasion.
This weekend, you and a friend. Your friend's never been to LA before. You want to take them to a great spot. Where do you go?
So I want something homey. I want it warm. And it's getting to be fall season, winter, want something a little heftier on the plate. So I'd go to this Italian spot called Della Terra. It's out toward
Ooh, Della Terra's
Hollywood.
good.
Della Terra where? Where is it?
It's towards Hollywood, but not all the way in Hollywood. The most
Okay.
authentic Italian food you might get in this entire city. Comes with the whole bread situation. They have all these different pastas. And even if pasta's not your gig, they have a whole nother menu of Italian food too that's also delicious. I just stick with pastas because I love pasta.
Okay, you made a bold claim that it is the most authentic Italian food you could find in LA.
Yes. I will say I haven't gone to like crazy many Italian places, but going there is an experience.
Okay, so Della Terra, this is on Beverly. It's right near the Grove.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Okay, I know exactly where this place is. I have not been there.
Funny enough, I discovered it from an organization that me and Safia are in from Theta Tau.
Yes, I was just about to say, I think that was the first dinner I had when I got into that group.
Mm-hmm.
What's this? What do you mean? Like it was a welcome dinner for you guys?
Yeah, we had it's like called like a midnight, like when you first get in, you have dinner with like everyone who's active in the org. And they love Della Terra for some reason. They go almost every semester.
It looks amazing. I'm adding this to my list. So I used to live like right near there.
I recently saw they added to the midnight lineup Fixins. Fixins is also my honorable mention for a good
Fixins?
spot.
I've never been to Fixins.
Yes, this is a soul food spot. So
Oh,
Where's that?
it's downtown, literally like an 8-minute bus ride from USC,
Oh, wow.
next to what they call it Crypto Arena now and all those different places. Get yourself some chicken and waffles For $9, you can get a chicken and waffle.
Wait, is it at LA Live?
Yeah.
Oh, I went. Did I
Thoughts?
go?
Oh,
Did I
was
go
it?
there? Did I go there or did I go? No, wait, I went somewhere else. Sorry.
Oh.
There's a debate about where we were going, and we
You
went
picked wrong.
to the barbecue place that LA Live was going to be at. But it was
Oh.
very much a southern vibe of a barbecue place. Like it was like a mix between like soul food and barbecue, if I can remember what it's called.
Okay.
But it probably wasn't. Was it Fixins?
Fixins doesn't usually do barbecue. The only,
Then it's not that.
yeah, they have chicken and waffles, oxtail, catfishing. Like it's more of a brunch spot.
Oh, that's a total soul food place. That's amazing.
Oh, it's so good.
That sounds fantastic. This is why I love. Like we've probably talked about it on the podcast before, that talking about restaurants in LA or where to eat, like you can live here forever and there's always something new that you've never heard of. And both of these places are areas that I've frequented and I'm like, well, I didn't know that existed. So that's amazing. I'm excited to try it. That's some good stuff. So that's why I always ask everyone, like, you got to hear what they think is a great spot and where they want to go. Cause this is like, there's always new stuff here. So I'm excited to learn a little bit more about Della Terra. And when you make the claim, again, I'm going back to this, the most authentic Italian food.
Oh,
Have
that
you
was
been
a
to
bold
Italy?
claim.
Have you been to Italy?
Okay, no, I have not been to Italy.
So how do you know that this is the most authentic Italian food, or what do you mean by most authentic? You just mean it's not Olive Garden.
It is not Olive Garden. Okay, we'll start there.
That's what you're
And,
clearly
like,
stating.
their bread that they make is very different. Like I can't even describe it. It's more like very flaky. It doesn't have much yeast or like whatever the situation is. And so it just feels like an overall experience. The sauce itself is more of like an Olive Garden, I mean, not an olive, an olive oil type drizzle situation. That's really good with also some other seasonings. I don't exactly know what the name is. But when you experience it, you'll see what I'm talking about. It feels like that.
I dig it. It's really, really cool. Oddly enough, I was just like near there a couple weeks ago, which is really, really weird.
Years ago.
So that's nuts. Okay, sorry. Now I've just stopped reading the website because I'm getting distracted.
If you want one more hidden gem,
Yeah, let's do it.
Hawaiian food in Torrance. The restaurant is called Auntie. I might be pronouncing it wrong, but Auntie Miley's, Mailes. Best Hawaiian food you might get in the area.
Auntie Miley's.
Miley's. I'm not 100% sure.
So Yelp tells me it's closed.
No,
Permanently?
They closed the location.
I was
No
just there a
way.
couple weeks ago.
According to Yelp, location closed. Because
No, they're not
weirdly
right.
enough, this is down the street from me where I live right now.
The one on Normandy Avenue in Torrance?
This is the one in Crenshaw Boulevard in Torrance.
Wrong
Oh, I
location.
think they're just closing. It says that they're reopening on December 3rd. They're just closed for like Thanksgiving,
Interesting.
apparently.
We have so many things we need to discuss and figure this out. But Auntie Miley's Hawaiian food, love it. Very cool. Let's take another detour. Did you and Safia talk about having podcast voice today? Because we got like ASMR, like podcast voice coming out of Taylor. Because Taylor, that's not your voice.
Really?
Yeah, like we got, yeah, like I really like the.
I feel like that's usually how Taylor talks when she's like being a little more professional, though.
No, but no. But like we talk all the time. Number one, number two. Like you just did an info session the other day with the exact same words. Like your introduction, I know you have memorized, and like you're using the same words and the same phrases. But it's like with a group of people, there's like, hey, well, you know, there's a little bit more of a projection and a little bit of like intonation and something. It's like, and I'm really into food, and like I'm like, what is happening? Like
funny
because
that you
this
say
is the
that?
thing that I criticize Safia on. We get on the podcast every time. It's
I
like,
blame it on the headphones though, because I can really hear myself. So to me, I
turn
feel
your
like
gain, turn your internal volume down, like turn your mic volume down, because then you crank it up a little bit because you got to get it going. Because usually
you
it's like,
project more.
hi, I'm Safia, and I'm a computer science student. And then you came in, and I'm like, what is happening? We're putting people to sleep.
We gotta get into the mind frame, you know? This is relaxing.
What mind frame of putting them to sleep?
We want people to be like so in, like they're relaxed. They feel like they can just like play this in the background and they're just like doing their get ready with me.
And fall asleep? Everything you just said is like things you do to fall asleep. Like, yeah, I gotta get them relaxed and put it in the background. I'm like, no, we're gonna be in their face. We're gonna get in there and make it happen.
Oh, yes, 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 yes.
What's
All
funny
right,
is
Taylor.
people say I have a podcast voice, but I don't know which voice they're talking about. Because I don't know if it's like this one, me yelling. I don't know the whole
I
situation.
don't know if you, I don't think you ever yell. I think you got a great voice. I think what's interesting is I think you're probably being like super mindful of the fact that you're by yourself in a room with like looking at a computer. And so you're just like talking to the computer. But like,
Mhm.
I guess that's the difference is like, I can tell that you're toning it very differently.
That's I mean, it wouldn't make sense to talk like that.
That's what you want. Yes,
Really?
do that.
It feels like I'm yelling at no one. Like, I feel like I'm because all that's behind you is a bulletin board, and I'm just like, "Hey guys, like, how are we doing today?" Like,
Well, the point of like that's what I'm trying to get both. Now we're doing this with everyone listening. This is great, but that's what I want you to do because like imagine you're listening, like how you're on. All you can do is hear it. So like you
That's
got to
true.
get some range of emotion. Then like it sounds like these people are talking to a bulletin board. Yeah, I'm like yeah, you don't want to talk to a bulletin board,
Good notes. Okay, I'll keep that in mind tonight when we're recording. Like,
right? There's when you listen to other podcasts, like
yeah,
there's energy there, right?
Mhm.
Unless it's one you want to get to the background and go to sleep on.
we should
I
just
think
turn
of a
this
Kirby
into an
voice as
ASMR channel at this
ASMR.
point.
Sorry, what did you say?
We've had multiple over the years. There's been multiple conversations. Of, can we do a Viterbi ASMR? I'm like, whatever you want to do, guys. Like, show me
ASMR
how it's
dining
going to
hall?
be interesting. Show me how it's going to be interesting, and we'll go for it. Like, if you want to, I'm down. But explain to me how it's going to work, other than like just a bunch of random noises.
We can do like Levy ASMR study session.
And
Day
I
in
would
my
say
life.
we should. You know what you should do? We should do that not on the podcast, but do it on the YouTube channel.
Okay, so that they can see the visuals.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay,
Like a
I'll
study
pitch
with
this
me.
to Kaylee.
Right. So we can go to the machine shop and like set it up for the CNC.
Mm.
We can go or like the milling machine, or then you can like change gear. You can maybe have different versions of ASMR, like the active machine shop one, or then you go to the study break
Oh,
one
it's like a
where
whole
you have like
series.
yeah, like there's like different videos and it's
Oh.
like and then there's like the Doheny one, like the studying one is like
Mm.
there's the Doheny section of that one, then there's like the Levy section of that one, then there's like the Mud Hall section of that one,
Really
which just
ideating with this idea.
oh, we can just keep going. And then we have ones where we're like outdoor experiences and like you're next to different
Mhm.
fountains, like, near the Epstein Plaza one and people kind of go by and then you're over
Mhm.
by that big one over in McCarthy Quad. That would be really kind of cool. You can do just one, which is like sitting outside of Tommy Trojan and the people going by and the noises and stuff
Mm.
like that. Like, I think we should do that. Set that up on YouTube and make it a certain like, what do we have? We have playlists on YouTube where we can just set them up one by one and just like that
Because
would
there's
be
study
awesome.
with me's on YouTube where people kind of do
Yeah.
that. And then they're
Like-
like,
Pomodoro video.
Mhm.
Whatever, let's do it.
And we could just tell everyone to set up a camera and record themselves.
That's the point of it. It doesn't take it's just like the
Very low
simplest thing
effort.
to do in the world. Set up a camera, let it run, and then come back to it. I'm down.
Do we have tripods?
Yeah.
Okay.
We did. I know I have at least one. There's probably another one in the office. And
We have
for a
some.
while there, we should talk about, let's go offline on this one, but we should talk about the specific audio recording technique so that it actually turns out somewhat good. Like we should
Mhm.
actually talk about microphones because I
Mhm.
just don't want to turn on a random phone and record it because that
Yeah.
might not come out as good.
Probably one of these mics.
All right, now that we've had that whole behind the scenes conversation, let's get into the real stuff. Taylor, you bring an episode to us. What is this episode all about?
Yeah. So point of this episode is really just
Yeah, here we go. Right
I-
back into it. Right back into it. I thought we
I
had
think
to-
how I talk to myself.
Anyway, back to Taylor.
Okay, so the point of this episode really is to just reflect on the past 4 years. Where a group of amazing seniors gathered together, seniors that I've known since my freshman year, which is really exciting. And we're really just going to look back, see what we did well, any advice that we have for incoming students, and reflect on what our next steps are when it comes to graduation.
So you're halfway through your senior year, and we are chatting about how did we get here? What did we do? What's been happening? Where do we go now? And all the main questions. I'm excited about this for all of you listening. If you're still listening after our long talk about ASMR, we'll see you on the back end of this episode where we'll discover other questions and see if we can get into a little bit of some scary stuff with Taylor. Find out what she's scared about in the near future, if that wasn't coming up in the episode. So we'll dive into that and some of the things that are happening around campus. We'll see you on the other side.
Sounds great. Hey everyone, thank you guys for joining me for this podcast episode where we get to reflect on our last couple of years of college and how we've grown so much. I've had the pleasure of knowing you all since freshman year, and so I'm really excited to see your learnings and how you all think you've grown and developed over these past 3 or 4 years. And so first, before we get started and jump in, I'd love to have you guys introduce yourselves. So starting with Pablo, if you want to go ahead and introduce name, major, hometown, fun fact, all of that.
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. So my name is Pablo. I'm a senior studying computer science and business administration. I'm originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And my fun fact is that I can speak 3 languages.
Nice. And then Lauren, do you want to go next?
Hey everyone, my name's Lauren. I'm a senior studying biomedical engineering on the electrical engineering track. I'm originally from Las Vegas, and fun fact about me is I play volleyball here.
Nice. Mezzi, want to go ahead?
Hi, I'm Mezzi. I am a senior studying aerospace engineering here at USC. I'm from Seattle, Washington. And fun fact, I learned to ride a bike like when I was 21 years old. So, yeah.
Nice. Kaylee, want to go ahead?
Yeah, of course. Hey everyone, I'm Kaylee. I'm a senior studying astronautical engineering here. Also getting my PDP in astro. And a fun fact about me is that I've been to the Junior Olympics in track and field.
Nice. And then Natalie?
Hi everyone, my name is Natalie. I'm a senior studying mechanical engineering, and I'm from Rancho Cucamonga, California, and I'm in the Trojan Marching Band playing the alto saxophone.
So nice. Thank you guys for joining me. And I guess I'll go ahead and introduce myself again. My name is Taylor. I am a senior studying computer science and business administration. And my fun fact is that I am president of NSBE, which is National Society of Black Engineers here on campus. I wish I could have had interesting things like being in a marching band, but maybe one day. So just to kick us off to get started, I'd love to ask if you all could relive one day from your time at USC, what would it be and why?
Hi there, it's Brooke, one of your Viterbi admission counselors with your mid-podcast message. I want to tell you about our year-round on-campus Visit Viterbi experiences. They're the best way to get to know more about our Viterbi programs. It's a 90-minute session focused on first-year applicants, and it includes an overview of our academic programs and admission process. It's led by one of our very own USC Viterbi admission counselors. So if you'd like to join us on campus, we would love to meet you. Please visit viterbi.link/events, that's VITERBI.link/events to reserve your Visit Viterbi experience. Now back to the podcast.
I'm going to cheat and go first. So I think the first week of school was, I think, like transformative, right? Like, we all walk on a campus. We're all new. We don't know where we are. I'm from Seattle, so it's a whole new area, a whole new weather, a whole new zone, whatever. And no one there knows where they are mostly, right? And I think that like how dynamic it was, how quick, he kind of made friends and, met people, did stuff and went out and played tag in the village at night and whatever. That was just a really, a very, very fun, amazing feeling. So I relived that kind of era, that kind of, 7-day, 14-day sort of quick, fast sprint of social interaction. That'd be great.
Yeah. No, I totally remember. Oh, I was just gonna say, I remember when Mezzi touched on playing tag in the village. That was when we all met, and that was so fun. No, like literally, people were coming up to us and saying, like, "When are we gonna do this again?" We never did it again, or at least I never did. But like, just that era of energy and excitement and meeting people is very exciting.
No, I sort of second that. I feel like I definitely like relive a first football game or something. Like I remember like I definitely did not like drink enough water. It was so hot. Like just being in that like environment of like a college football game. Even though our team wasn't too good, but we like we're a good football school. Like historically, it was just so exciting. Like being in the student section, like seeing the band play, seeing the torch being lit, and like the beginning of the fourth. Like that's insane. And just like getting to soak it all in. Like I'm like sitting where like the Olympics were. Like that's quite crazy. Like this is my life now. Yeah, I definitely think those like first couple of months of freshman year when everything is brand new, like all of your firsts was like pretty epic for sure.
I'll go next. A day that I'd probably relive is the day that AME 101, the Intro to Mechanical Engineering course, had their King of the Hill project. I was so excited to be a freshman in engineering at USC, and this was my first project. This is part of the reason why I love engineering and to work with the team. I got close with my team. I mean, we had failures along the way, but the actual competition was pretty hype out in the E-Quad in Viterbi. So everyone was like shouting at these small, like 1 foot by like not even 1 foot by 1 foot kind of cars. And they're going up this ramp and we are like thinking that this is like robot wars. So that was just overall such a fun day and to see our progress and hard work come to fruition.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah, I think mine is pretty similar to everyone else's of just kind of looking back on freshman year and kind of, I don't know, taking more time to take it all in. I think I was a little bit rushed through all of my freshman year. So I think reliving the first day or I guess the first football game, anything like that, and just enjoying it because college went so fast that I think just taking the time to enjoy it all.
For me personally, I think that specifically, obviously, yeah, like everyone said, the first few weeks or few months, but specifically the first trip I went on with my friends here from USC outside. I know we all went on many trips, everyone here and everyone that's coming on, we go on a bunch with their friends around the area. And just the first trip, we went to Big Bear, and it was just that feeling of like, being away from my parents and just being able to do whatever I want and not being, stuck with them. And just having such a great group to go around with was really special to me. And then a second little side note, I think, would be that first day coming back for Thanksgiving break, which is the first time I saw all my friends from home. It was really funny because just to see how much everyone changed, and to see, hear all the stories was really fun. So yeah.
Yeah, I just gotta second what everyone's saying. Honestly, the firsts were really the not the highlights, but it's just the first time you get to experience so many different things. So it's so much energy, so much excitement, and you really get to settle in and realize like this is different than the life I've lived before. I'm in college. Like anything I have to add would just be similar as far as like my first hikes in LA. I was in Peaks and Professors. So getting fully funded trips to go out and just hike and do different new things. I even remember one time I hiked with my chemistry 105 professor. And so that was really fun because since then we were always had a really close relationship. So those opportunities that you experience your first year, unlike anything else. That being said, were there any types of clubs or extracurriculars that you think were crucial to your experience here at USC that you'd love to recommend to others?
Yeah, I think for me, definitely one extracurricular that I've really enjoyed is I'm currently president of ASBME, which is one of the
Yeah.
Thank you. It's one of the biomedical engineering clubs we have here at SC. So I think that organization has been really pivotal to my undergrad experience. It's where I met like a lot of my friends. And I joined my freshman year, so I've been part of it for 4 years now, and it's like been really good for me professionally and also socially. Like I'm still in touch with the people that were seniors when I was a freshman, and we're just like I think you develop really strong bonds through that club, and you kind of hold on to them, which is pretty awesome. And it helped me navigate college a lot too. So I'd definitely recommend it to any BME.
Yeah. I'd say ASBME is literally like the cutest club on campus. Anytime I meet a BME person, I'm like, you have to join this org.
Oh my gosh, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah, I used to be BME. I think most of you guys maybe know that, but I was started off biomedical, so that's why I know like Lauren and a lot of other BME people in the space.
Sad you left us, Taylor.
Sometimes I'm so sad too.
Yeah, I think for me personally, I know we were talking about it earlier, but I just came from performing Break On Two, and I think that it's our Latin dance team. We compete too, so it's both casual and more professional, competitive. It's been a super important part of my college experience. I joined as my sophomore year, so a little bit later, but I've been involved with the people since freshman year. And really, I think the two important things to do once you come to USC and you become an engineer is to join those professional clubs like ASBME, which are really important for your obviously meeting other engineers, but also joining another club where you can, after a long day of studying, you can just go and dance for 2 hours, forget everything that you've been doing, and just de-stress and really just have a great time with your friends. So. It's been a really great club for me. So many good friends. So fun to perform in at USC and around LA, and I've had a great time.
Yeah. I like break-ons, is it Club Annex or like salsa nights? Yeah, it's basically where they do the open salsa. Whether you're in the org or not, they have kind of a 2-hour lesson that they teach you with bachata or salsa. Those are a good time.
Yeah, I want to second what Pablo was mentioning about being in a club that's different than your typical day-to-day engineering work. The club that comes to mind for myself was chess club. I like saw everyone playing chess on their computers in class, and I wanted to know what the hype was all about. I like barely knew the rules of how to play chess, and I showed up, and it was really intimidating because I was like one of like four girls in the room. But everyone was super welcoming and super cool. And then chess club actually had a bunch of recreational sports teams. So I was playing basketball with the chess club. I was playing flag football. I was playing soccer. And it honestly was just a really fun way to get out and have fun. And although maybe we weren't the most athletic, it was always a good time.
That sounds really fun. Chess Club was always set up in the village and having these like extravagant setups. I remember one time they brought like Grand Masters, Grand, is that what they're
Yeah,
called?
they brought like Twitch streamers that are like famous in the chess world, and it actually inspired me to take USC's 2 unit elective chess course. So I took a
Oh,
chess class, and the professor is a international grandmaster or something like that, Jack Peters.
wow.
So it's really fun, and like I said, like I think it was super impactful.
Got it. Would you say like not that are you good at chess now, but like would you say you're pretty confident in your skills? Like now you could challenge someone at
Well,
chess.
I dabble a
As
little.
you should. No, that's so cool. And then a slight side note, did you watch The Queen's Gambit?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I absolutely loved it. I watched it with my dad, and that also inspired, I guess, my like chess nerd to come out.
Yeah, yeah. No, that was a cool depiction for sure of like something that seems so niche, but in a very public setting. And that also, I had like a chess arc just for a very short time, not all of what you did, but I was like trying to learn the gambits. I said, oh, I gotta learn a couple of skills. So that's really cool that you were able to do that here at USC. Were there any other clubs or anything that you guys wanted to highlight?
I'll go ahead. Yeah, I think RPO kind of is my like body, blood, and soul. Like that club was a pretty big guiding.
Wait, tell
Let
us
me
what
actually
RPO
clarify.
stands for.
I was gonna say yeah. So freshman year, I joined the Rocket Propulsion Laboratory, which is I guess the premier student collegiate rocketry team in the world at this point.
Don't say I guess. Didn't y'all
No,
just
it
set
is. It
a
just
record?
they did. That is true. They did. I was there for about 3, maybe 2.5 years. I left last spring, but that club, I think in both a professional, also a personal way, guided, I guess, who I am today in terms of who I am as a student and also as an engineer, as a team worker. Yeah, I mean, that club was hugely informative for me and how I want to, guide my career where I want to go. Right. Um, I think the fact that you have, like 50 to 80 kids, 100 kids who are all like passionate about one single thing for 4 years straight just makes, one of the coolest, um, yeah, I guess environments and like spaces to work in the school, bar none. So, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, I second everything that he says. As someone who's been there for 4 years, um, definitely one of the most challenging things I've ever done, but also the most rewarding in like the entire world that I've ever done. I mean, I knew like as a high school student that I like wanted to build rockets, and I thought it was really cool that I was like afforded the opportunity to do that in college, which is quite rare, especially on the scale that we do it. Um, and so like that was my biggest drawing point to USC. It's like, oh well, I want to build rockets. Like that's what I want to do. So like why don't I go somewhere that allows me to do that? I did not exactly imagine I'd be building them on this big of a scale. Like we've sent a rocket higher than actually some private space companies have sent a rocket. Like we've sent it even higher than several companies actually, which is sort of crazy. Um, and we're just like a bunch of, like 18, 19, 21, 22 year olds just in playing around in our little room, like our little tools and stuff. Um, so I think it's definitely a very unique experience. I think just design teams in general, it's really good to like learn how to operate as an engineer outside of engineering classes because working in a professional environment as someone who's had like, several internships at several different places, very different than, the classroom setting. Um, in a professional environment, like sure you're given sort of an assignment, but the instructions are vague. You have to think a little bit more on your own. There's not necessarily a deadline. You set those yourself. So being able to sort of manage those things, document processes, engineering's a little bit more than just like problem solution. There's a lot of other steps in between. So design teams help a lot with that.
Yeah. And I'm really glad you brought up that point of how professionally engineering can be a lot different than what you learn in the classroom,
Yeah,
or even just application wise. And so I'd be
for
curious to
sure.
hear what surprised you guys most when it came to this engineering degree that you'll be earning. Is it the academics? Was it the projects you did outside? Or even was it maybe some research that you all have done as far as maybe something you wish you would have known when you came into this curriculum?
I think for me, back in Vegas, there weren't a lot of, I guess, opportunities to get a lot of hands-on engineering experience. So I think I had an idea of like what engineering would be, but college really showed me like, I guess, I don't know, the exciting and kind of nerdy part of engineering, which I really enjoyed. Like I got to make cool things through my senior design class and also got exposure to that through like, I guess, different like design competitions that I participated in. So I think it was surprising to me to see like the possibilities within engineering. And even though we were only here for 4 years, like I feel like I've learned a lot in terms of technical skills and being able to make some cool things. So yeah, I feel like that was most surprising for me coming to engineering at USC.
I mean, yeah, I can sort of go off of that. I mean, I've always I did like engineering electives in high school. Were they like the best? No way. But you sort of get like a bit of a grasp on the concept that engineering is not straightforward whatsoever. You think that like there's a very simple solution, and like in practicality, like you design something and it's not exactly as easily manufacturable as you think, yada yada yada. It's a lot more iterative than like something seems. Like I don't know, like Natalie was discussing the like AME like 101 class, um I'm sure
Haley,
that
we were in that class together.
I'm sure that when you had your like little car, like you think, oh, I'm just building a car. Like I'm just gonna put it on the ramp. It's just gonna drive up the ramp. But it never does that. It like basically never does that. And it'll do it once and then you'll do the exact same thing again and then it won't work. So um that's sort of one big thing that I think has been pretty helpful and useful is designing for manufacturability because things are a lot harder to build than conceptually, but also like being able to troubleshoot.
Do you
Yeah, I feel
remember
like
being in that class with Natalie?
No,
Haley
not
and
really.
I, what? So you sat against the wall on when you first walked in the room. I always came in through the other entrance, so I sat against that wall. So we were like on opposite sides. But I totally remember you.
I don't know. Freshman year is a long time ago, man.
No,
Fair enough.
I just remember it was definitely sophomore year and maybe it was freshman year too. But when me and Kaylee became BSAs, Kaylee was never sleeping for real. She was always up all times of the night, and it was so funny. Or like for one of like the job, we had a 7 a.m. meeting, and it was so funny because you'd see her, and I'd be on my bike, and she'd just be walking out of the building like a zombie. So, sometimes the memory goes early on.
Oh,
I feel like
yeah.
the through line, I guess in the past 4 years for me, in the whole engineering program within Viterbi, right, has always been like as an engineer, you're always like asked to fill in the gaps, right? Like whether it's in assignments or rubrics that are unclear or engineering problems within a project team or like a job outside of the school, right? Your whole job is okay, given like maybe two pieces of intro. How can I get to like part three, right? Or like the next step? And how do I, iterate from there and make something better and efficient, whatever, right? But the point is, like your whole goal and your whole kind of purpose as an engineer is to be able to like take info from a limited data set and then make a certain conclusion or projection or extrapolation based on that. And that kind of applies in every way you move through the school. So I feel like, whereas I was a bit more maybe angry or frustrated I maybe a professor gave me a very vague problem. It makes sense now. I mean, that kind of is the goal. They want to make you think harder than you usually have to, and that's kind of the goal. How they do it.
It's almost like we're given like the individual Legos and then expected to build the structure. And
Right? Yeah.
you didn't give me a blueprint. You showed me a picture and gave me pieces and said build it.
That can make sense.
Or even when Kaylee was talking about how sometimes you can do something two times the same way and it works one way and doesn't work the second time. That reminds me of just that, especially early on in the computer science courses, it feels like you find more wrong ways to do something to like stumble onto the right way, and just learning how to deal with that, how to persevere through that, how to problem solve around that, and knowing that even learning in problem solving that just because something's wrong doesn't mean you're not going in the right direction. With enough wrong turns, you'll eventually make the right turn. And so that level of perseverance in engineering and just what I want to carry with me through my career is something I didn't expect coming into this major for sure. Any other thoughts on like that topic at all? Got it. Is there anything specific you guys would have wished you would have known coming in as a freshman, or something you would have done differently?
Oh my gosh, that everyone doesn't know everything. I felt so much imposter syndrome. Okay, Lauren, don't even talk like that, because Lauren was in my Calc 1 class, Calc Math 125, and I was like, oh my gosh, like Lauren needs to be in Calc 3 right now. She knows everything in this class. And I felt like I was struggling. I didn't think my high school prepared me well. I think over COVID, when I took Calc AB, I lost a little bit of like my motivation in trying to work hard and like do math. And so when I came to USC and I did calc here at the college level, I said this math is different. I don't know what this Calc 1 is because it's not Calc 1 from high school. So ask questions. Not everyone knows everything, and you're not alone.
Yeah, I definitely did not know what was going on in my first class. I had a high school calc teacher that told me that limits were irrelevant in calculus. And my first day here, it was like, no, that's basically all of calculus. So that was an interesting take from my previous teacher. But yeah, I feel like that's really a testament to kind of what goes on freshman years. I think a lot of people try to put up a brave front of like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. I'm totally gonna be fine. And like, I don't know. I feel like everyone tries to put up this front, but the best thing is when you figure out like, no, everyone's like trying to readjust and like everyone's in the same boat. Engineering is difficult, but it's also I feel like USC tries to make a really strong community within engineering. Like it is a struggle, but like we're all struggling together. So I feel like that's a huge part of it. And I think, yeah, that's just something I wish I knew as a freshman, because I was definitely one who tried to put up a front of like, oh yeah, I'm totally fine. I totally know what's going on. I had no idea what was going on ever. But yeah, I think once you get like into the swing of things and you really find your routine, it helps a lot. I think you just have to kind of let yourself go through that transition period of like, yeah, college is different from high school. You have to give yourself time to readjust and make friends along the way. But yeah, I wish that's something I knew, because it took me a long time to get into that mentality.
Lauren, I thought you were a BME 101 genius. Like I was like, man, look
The
at
front
me.
work.
I don't
The
understand
front
these
work.
flows. I don't understand this.
I'm really good at acting. Maybe drama was my thing, because I was in Levy till like 4 a.m. every night. I was just talking to my freshman in my club. I was getting like 2 or 3 hours of sleep a night, which I would not recommend to anyone. But that was the majority of my freshman first semester, because I was not I guess classes were hard for me, and so I tried to pretend I was okay. I was not.
I'm glad that you bring that up though, like that piece of, it's a stigma of engineering culture, right? To stay up super late, to long hours, no social life, all those different things. And while it can be hard and definitely the classes can be demanding, how did you guys maintain balance and overall maintain your mental health throughout these past couple of years?
Allow yourself to say, I'm done. Like, legitimately, like, I think there's a certain point when it's like, you can keep studying, but like, you might just not get it. It's okay. Like, there's like one thing on the test that you might not understand. and it's like, okay, I have a test in 8 hours. Like either I can like keep studying for this 8 hours and like I probably still won't understand that topic, and then I'll be like really sleep deprived and tired, and also might lose other points like for dumb reasons because I'm tired. Like I think you have to be a bit realistic with yourself and be okay with like stopping or like saying no to things. Like it is really great to get involved and do everything, but at the same time, like be very, very okay with being like, no, I'm gonna miss out on that one thing like tonight. Like I think I'm just gonna go to sleep, or I'm just gonna take some time for myself, or I'm gonna like bake something, or I'm gonna like make myself some food. Like I think, I don't know, as a freshman, you see, I mean, just like you guys have been saying, everyone's faking it. Like every single person is like, everything's great, and I'm doing all these things, and I'm involved in every club, and I cured cancer, and I'm like sent a rocket to space, and I'm also an astronaut, and also like I play 15 sports, and I went to the Olympics. Like actually, like no one's actually really doing all of that. It just seems like they're doing all of that. So being okay with being like, you know what? um this one involvement that I'm in, not that interesting to me. I'm gonna give it up in to like take self-care or like take some time for myself. I think that's really, really important.
That part, I feel like I like freshman year, sophomore year, I was very much like, I'll grind, I'll be up until like 5 a.m., 6 a.m., just like keep on going, get a yerb and just, you know, thug it out. But I feel like as of like junior year, spring, maybe fall, I kind of said, you know what, like I can't stay up past like 2:30, 3 a.m. for a class. Like for a club, maybe I'm not gonna like, go and, be unsafe with myself in terms of, how much sleep I need for a day, not having enough food and the right, amount of whatever I need, right, to get through the day. Because like it just isn't worth it. It isn't worth it at some point, right? Like I just think that there's a time to set a boundary for yourself and to just be real about I cannot be productive when I'm wired off no sleep. That's not happening. So let me go to bed, figure it out in the morning, and then go from there. Right.
Yeah. I think like a really big part of being in engineering as well is like you're being pulled in a lot of different directions, kind of like everyone talked about. Like you're expected to do well in your classes and you're also expected to be in these clubs so you can learn technical skills, and you're also expected to maintain a social life and also taking care of yourself at the same time. And it's kind of a lot to balance at first, but I think like really fast, like people, I guess, learn how to prioritize different things and find that balance because I don't know, I'm a big person of like keep the things in your life that make you happy, get rid of the things that don't. It's like you really have to find like how to maintain that in your life because we all got into engineering, we all have our passions, and I think staying focused on why we got into engineering in the first place has really helped me, and I hope it's helped other people too. But yeah, just maintaining like that balance, but also keeping priorities straight of like not getting overwhelmed by all the different things you're supposed to do, but making sure you're doing the things that you want to do.
Yeah. I like that
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, go
sorry.
ahead, Pablo.
And on that note, like kind of building off of that, freshman year especially, a lot of your friends might have been studying things that allow them to have more free time, for example, or that they might, be going out and doing more things. And that really bothered me freshman year personally, someone who suffers from FOMO. But like over time, I learned pretty quickly that it doesn't really matter. Like if I want to skip a social event or stay in on a Friday night and work instead of going out and having fun with friends. It's okay. It'll be fine in the big scheme of things. And that's always part of keeping your mental health in check and giving yourself the time you need to both relax and get your work done at a reasonable hour. So don't be ashamed.
Yeah. And on that note too, for me, the biggest change was scheduling in my time. Like so easy on a Google Calendar to schedule your classes, your club meetings, your office hours. Schedule time for you too. Even for me, it's down to even just scheduling lunch, scheduling breaks, scheduling relaxation, even scheduling friends so that I know I have things I should be doing that's not just purely related to school, work, or my obligations. Your own time is important as well. And when you're so focused on giving your time to other obligations and things and not focused on what do you actually want to be doing with your time, it can be easy to feel burnt out in a sense. So that's really important. I love it's like color coded Google Calendar. It's great. But that's really good points. And I'm really glad you guys all shared that because I feel like it's so important to make sure that through our academic journeys, regardless of what we're studying, to maintain that kind of self-care, mental health, all of those wellness things. Another thing I also wanted to touch on was meal prep. I don't know about y'all, but I am an avid meal prepper. When I got off that meal plan after freshman year, after sophomore spring or sophomore fall, I said never again. I was cooking like no tomorrow. So learn to cook now. Take note of your family recipes. That's one thing I wish I would have done because then every break I've been going home and like making a note to add of more and more things I could cook. So now just to pivot a little, I'd love to hear professionally some of your professional experiences that you guys have had and what's next for you all in the future.
I can start, I guess. So I had an internship the summer after my freshman year at a rover company. I was a structures and mechanisms engineer there. And then the summer after sophomore year, I did research working in small satellites, as a power systems engineer. And then the summer after my junior year, so this past summer, I was an intern at Relativity, which is a rocket company, as what was I? A vehicle engineer. I don't know why I'm forgetting. A vehicle engineer, specifically structures. Um, and I'll probably be returning there under a different team post graduation, but I'm also doing the PDP program. So I'll have one class after I graduate. After this semester, I'll have one last class and then I'll have my master's. So yeah, most likely this after I get my bachelor's after graduation in May, I'll be doing work and taking one class.
Amazing.
Yeah. For me, I worked at SpaceX as a Raptor. Sorry. Where this? As a propulsion engineering intern. In summer between my sophomore and my junior year. Very fun time. After that point, I am now moving on to work at Blue Origin in the spring, so in January, as a fluids engineering intern on New Glenn, which is a fun new rocket they're making in Seattle, back where I'm from. So I'll be up there for about 3 months. Thank you, Natalie. And
I'm
yeah,
so happy for you. Oh my
thank
gosh.
you. Yeah. I'm really pumped. It is now going to be a very non-linear track towards graduation because, I'm going to end up taking classes, coming back to take classes in next spring, right? So I have 6 months between now and when I come back for school, I guess, or a year. I'm forgetting. Anyways, I'll figure it out. But yeah, so doing that.
That's so cool. And going back to Seattle, wow. Get to go home. How's the weather in the spring? Is it better than
It rains. It rains. It rains. It's gonna rain. It's okay. It's gonna.
That's like Seattle all the time.
I know. Come on. I love it.
Wait,
It's a home.
didn't y'all just
It
have
is
a cyclone?
beautiful.
We did have a cyclone, yeah, and
Okay.
raining at the same time. It was a combo cyclone. They brought it with us.
That's a hurricane.
Oh, we're coastal.
Y'all, that's supposed to be my future home. You're scaring me.
Is that true?
No, Seattle's so great. Seattle's actually
I
fantastic.
love it there, man.
Over
Mhm.
the summer.
For like for a month or two, yeah, because it rains in the summer too. But
Yeah.
it's still cute. I like it.
I'm scared. But did USC help you guys land any of those opportunities at all? Or like any resources did you guys use here to prepare you guys for those opportunities?
Yes. I recommend getting your resume reviewed. Specifically, Viterbi has their own career center. So although there's like the USC overall career center to help, I mean, any student across any major, any discipline, Viterbi has their own specialized career center. So please take advantage of that. I regretfully did not take advantage of that freshman year, but I highly recommend.
Yeah, for me, I think a big resource was we have just like I feel like a really strong alumni community at USC. Like for my BME club, we have this one event called Fall Networking Night, which is where a bunch of old alums from USC come back and meet students within BME. And that's where a lot of students get their internships from. It's where I got mine as well. Like it's just like I'd say maybe 20 alums come and talk about their experiences in industry or in research, depending on, I guess, the field they chose to pursue. But then from there, students can ask about their experiences, and that's usually where they get like interviews or figure out like where they should submit their applications, things like that. So I definitely utilize the alumni network as much as you can. Even like on LinkedIn, I know I've messaged people before just saying like, hi, I'm an alum. We had the same major. And that sounds so cheesy and corny, but it actually works like a lot. So that's something I definitely recommend. Like the alumni network is strong and it has helped me a lot career-wise.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like LinkedIn, my
Yeah.
best friend. Wow, we go together real bad. Because like you said, you can really reach out to anyone. When I was just like trying to change my major, I was reaching out to people, seeing what they did, what they're doing now. And even when I got my first internship, and I was like, crap, like I'm going to work for a big company. I was reaching out to people like that and just trying to get advice of what I should be doing to help me navigate the process. So people are so willing to help out. People are so willing to pour into you, especially with that one commonality being USC. And so taking advantage of that and using that to support your career wherever it goes is so important. And
Yeah,
just like
definitely.
reinventing the wheel. Like honestly, I love seeing what other people did. I'm like, okay, if 5 people did this program, maybe I should apply too.
I actually want to definitely emphasize the alumni network. They're there to support you. They want to see you succeed and uplift you. My personal experience actually came from the alumni Trojan marching band. Basically, we have an end of the year banquet for bands, and some alumni, some donors come and like want to celebrate and see the band with us. And I met someone there. She invited me over to her house. So we have our banquet at the end of the fall semester. So she invited me over to her house, which was a beach house in Southern California for spring break. So me and like 5, 6 other friends spent spring break at her beach house. Later on, when I got my internship at Boeing in Seal Beach, California, it was not even 10 minutes from her house. And I got the internship late, quote unquote, and so didn't have much time to look for housing. So I reached back out to her and I said, hey, like, do you remember me? I stayed at your house over spring break. I'm actually going to be working down the street from where you live. Would you mind renting out a room to me? And she did. And so it's just that alumni network is there to support you and lift you up, whether that is directly professionally or if it's just like wanting to see you grow and succeed. And this was someone I knew from band, not even in my field or industry. So definitely utilize the alumni network.
Any other thoughts? Great. So before we wrap it up, I just want to ask one more question. And given your experience and just all that you guys have talked about and that we've shared, why USC? Why would you recommend USC to someone? And what do you really think is either your biggest takeaway or could be someone's biggest takeaway by coming to the school?
Why y'all think I'll go? Because I've answered this question a million times. Why USC? For me, I would say three big things. The people I've met here are phenomenal. Everyone's really talented, really driven, um, just like really cool to talk to. I feel very supported here, like by like most everyone that I meet. And then number two would be the alumni network, which I guess sort of goes under the people, but I guess it's a bit different. Everywhere I've worked, there's been someone that has graduated from USC there, and they like love to talk about it. Like you, like the light goes their eyes light up whenever I like say that I'm like attending USC. And there's definitely like a real like love for the school. Um, and yeah, it's phenomenal. And then the third reason I think is the resources to like student ratio, I guess. Since the engineering school doesn't have like an extremely large amount of students, I feel like in classes, the class sizes aren't too big. Like I never feel like I'm like getting lost in the midst of like hundreds and hundreds of students. I feel like the professors are always accessible, the TAs are always accessible. Um, and then like research funding, I feel like I'm able to get funding for different projects. So um, yeah, I think the resources are definitely quite like plentiful here and everything. So I was able to like do just about everything that I really wanted to do, because I felt really supported here.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah, I can go next. Pretty much like this is I could go on forever and ever about this, but like USC really has it all. We can talk about like the weather and the gorgeous campus and obviously the people, super good academically, but also very social, very friendly, opening environment. But what I wanted to focus on and touch on was that like, we have 1,000 plus clubs here, so many engineering clubs that as we've talked about, and so many clubs beyond that. Like there really is a place for everyone here. And you're gonna find like your family away from home. You're gonna find so many friends. You're gonna have chances to explore what you love and to find new things that you love. And it really is the place that has, USC has everything you could ever want and more. So I don't think anyone would regret coming here. And all of us have benefited so much from our time. And we're gonna all succeed and go on to do great things. So yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Something I can touch on is I think be the change that you want to be. In the sense that USC has been a space where anything I want to do, whether it's something I want to do to improve campus life, to improve programming, to improve how things are run, I've been able to do those things, whether it was an idea I had and I was just able to execute or need to lean on Viterbi staff for support. And so like in doing that, I've been able to host so many different events and programs and such that have touched on different aspects of the Viterbi community. And I think that being empowered to do that and being encouraged to do that isn't something that you can find elsewhere. Like, isn't something that you can find everywhere. Like the fact that I feel like I know so much of the Viterbi staff by name and really things that I just mentioned conversationally, we've turned into actual things has been so amazing, from like a Black woman in engineering panel to even this, we wanted to do like a woman's relaxation day. So like the massages and stuff like that. I've been working with the director of women in engineering for that. And just different programs and such when it comes to my organization too. Being empowered to do those things is so important because it allows you to be the change that you want to see. And it's not like you're just coming to USC and experiencing it, but you're also able to build what you want the experience to be for others as well. So that's something I think that's super important.
Yeah, I think that really resonates with me. I recently went to like a conference where they were talking about college as I guess a concept, but they were talking about how one of the most important things about college is that it's like, yeah, I mean, you have to learn the academic foundations and all of that, but a really important component is getting a new perspective and really broadening the things that you knew prior to university. And I feel like USC really gives you the chance to meet a lot of people who come from diverse backgrounds. People have really unique stories here and are motivated by a lot of different passions. And I think USC is the place to really grow as a person, and in Viterbi, especially to grow as an engineer. Like, you learn so many things that show you how you can have a positive impact on the community. And I think there's always that central focus of like taking in all the information you can, whether it be from an academic or social perspective, and applying that in order to create some form of a lasting impact. So for that reason, I'd say USC for sure.
Definitely USC to make your mark. I think there's a community for everyone. It's just going about and finding it. But I want to say from my experience, my community found me. And that was really special because everyone was so welcoming and just really motivated and willing to learn and lift each other up. It wasn't competitive in a negative way, but competitive to push you to your full potential.
Yeah. Well, guys, does anyone have any other thoughts or things that they want to share with listeners? Okay, well, before we go, I just want to give a mini thank you letter, honestly, to each of you all. Like, you guys have all played a special role, a part of my USC experience over these past couple of years. And I really do think it's been an honor knowing you all as well. I'm excited to see where we go, excited to be like in your comments, your number one cheerleader, and just all these things. You guys are amazing people and individuals, and the future doesn't know what's coming because you guys are coming. So really excited. Thank you guys for listening, for those who are listening to the podcast. And this is Taylor. Hopefully I'll see you next time at another episode.
And we're back. Thank you, Taylor, for bringing that lovely episode to us. It feels so nostalgic seeing you even reflect on your senior year, even though I'm also a senior, because you were like one of the first people I met when I transferred to USC.
Was you really?
So, yeah, she was. We
Like
had
coincidentally, like through class or something?
Yeah, just through classes. Before I even joined that club that we were both a part of, I think we met in like discrete math or I'm not
Those
sure,
are the
one of those
trenches.
intro classes. She's like one of the first people I met my first week of school here.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Okay. No, I was just glad to honestly have had that moment because seeing you do all these things now and even in the intro saying that you were getting your master's, I was like, wow, just like that. You were just
I
telling
know.
we were
It's
meeting up in the
crazy.
village, chit-chatting about anything and painting. Like
It's
all
like a
of those
fly in my
things.
room right now too.
All good.
So, as a senior, um, when you've got just this last semester staring, we got to get through finals in the next week or two. Um, then you got a break. Then you come back for your very last semester of undergraduate. Um,
Scary.
what are you running out of time on? Like, what's on the bucket list that you are definitely wanting to do before you get out of this place?
Yeah. I think one thing that I've been running out of time on is just being able to explore all my interests. Like, I've done so many things, but then you also learn new things that you want to get involved of. And even sometimes taking college so seriously that you forget to just enjoy the less serious things. Like in my classes, next semester, I'm going to take a swimming class. So excited for
Ooh.
that. I want to learn how to swim,
Cool.
guys. I've been putting this on the back burner for so long. And
So
even
you've never swam before,
so, I can go
or
in the
you
water.
you can go
I
in the water, you
won't
just don't know how
drown.
to like properly like do strokes.
Yes, like a
Got it.
freestyle, I can't do that. But I won't drown, maybe.
Knock on wood. Yeah.
But yeah, wanting to learn things like that and finding new ways I can merge my blending my interests, especially like dance has been something I've always been passionate about, but haven't had always the time to dedicate to it. So taking this like life science GE, that's a dance class in Kaufman. Very excited for
Nice.
that.
Which class is it?
It's called Dance 305.
Okay, nice.
And
I
it's
love
just
hearing
a
about
study like
dance classes.
kinesthesiology of the body through dance, but it takes place in the studio. So I'm
Oh,
excited
nice.
for that. And honestly, just trying to learn as much as I can before I leave. I feel like undergrad is one of the few moments where you can really explore all your interests, whether they're
Mhm.
related to your major or not, versus as you go on to your master's and even a PhD, you often focus your interests on whatever that is that you're pursuing the degree for.
Totally.
Sophia, what are you running out of time for?
I feel like I'm running out of time like quicker than Taylor is because Taylor has done, I feel like everything in her
It's not. It's
time
not.
during college.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not a measurement. You're not like
No, no,
comparing
I
to one
know.
another. I'm like, what are things you want to do?
I think I definitely want us to explore LA more. I know I mentioned this early on in this
Yeah.
season, but I've done pretty well, but there's still so much more to see. Like you said, you could go to every restaurant on your list and there's
Yeah,
still
you're
like
never
20
gonna
more
hit
to
it.
go to. I also, same as Taylor, want to explore like more of my interests, especially creative ones before I graduate, because I feel like once you start real world job, you kind of don't put as much time into your side hobbies. So I want to really hone in on them now so that once I graduate, I don't feel lost. Like I have no other hobbies going on in life. Yeah, I don't really know. I want to make like a formal bucket list once this semester ends.
Do you have an idea of the hobbies that you want to do, or is
Yeah,
just
I
you
want to
want
continue.
hobbies?
I want to continue with dance class.
Okay.
And I'm thinking about signing up for the surfing class, but you need to
Woo!
pass a swim test in order to be able to sign up for it. And I don't know if I'm going to be passing that swim test.
I have faith.
Um, so
Do you
we'll
know what
see
the
about
swim
that.
test is?
I think you just have to be able to like hold your breath for a certain amount of time, and then you have to be able to like swim across the pool in a certain amount of time as well.
Don't you have to be able to tread water for like 10 minutes or am I tripping?
Oh,
For the
yeah, I
surfing
don't.
class?
Yeah, I don't know the exact requirements, but they just want to make sure you're not going to like drown out there in the ocean.
I have a feeling you'll be fine.
Thank you, thank you. I
Funny
know
enough,
one
I've
person
gone
that failed
surfing.
the test for the prereq, so we'll see.
You said you know someone who didn't pass?
Yeah, who didn't pass the test.
Oh,
That's why I'm a little
did
nervous. We'll see.
well on. I don't know how to ask this. Knowing them ahead of time, do they know how to swim?
I've never seen them swim. They told me they knew how to swim. I just
But
had to
they
take their
didn't
word
pass
for
the
it.
swim test,
They didn't. I
which
don't
is
think they
basically
were
just
able.
testing to
Knowing
make
how to
sure.
swim is a broad category, you know?
Yeah, right?
It just means you won't drown immediately if someone drops you in water. But I think being a strong swimmer is what the surf
A
class is
Yeah.
looking
strong
for.
swimmer.
And
Yeah.
that's not what everyone is.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Would you classify
It's
yourself as a strong swimmer, Paul?
so that I was, yes, and I'm not trying to sound a certain way, but it's just I just grew up swimming all the time. Like I grew up at the beach and in the pool, and I
Yeah.
played water polo in high school.
Oh,
And it
okay.
was like, you had to be a strong swimmer. Like training drills for water polo were, insane. Like one of which I distinctly remember, in addition to other things that were crazy, but like taking 5-gallon Arrowhead jugs, like those ones you put on top,
Yeah.
and then egg beatering, which you don't tread water in water polo, but you egg beater, which is you
The
you
legs.
basically, yeah, you kick your legs out like a frog one at a time like this, and it
Mhm.
keeps you afloat. And you just kind of, when you do it so often, it's like muscle memory. So you're kind of floating through the water, but you have to egg beater around the perimeter of the pool with that over your head.
That's insane.
And
I
so
would not pass
you have to
that.
get around the whole perimeter of the pool. And then the challenge was, can you turn it over and dump it on your head
Oh,
and be done,
wow.
then be done when you're at the end of it? So I distinctly remember that as a challenge. and that was one of the things. So,
That's
Wouldn't be able to
insane.
do that.
I would drown.
but swimming is, I love swimming, but now I'm at a point where, like, I think I can do things that I can't do anymore. Like I'll
Mm.
jump into the water and be like, "Hey, here we go." And I'm like, "Oh God, I'm exhausted. I can't do that anymore." I've been trying to get better at swimming. Like I've realized that that's a really good way for me to work out. Or it's a really good way for me to work out when I'm traveling. It's a really good way for me to fight jet lag when I'm traveling. And so, like, when I was in China in the fall, the first thing I did was I landed and I went to the pool, and then I did a bunch of laps. And it like exhausts you, but it just like kind of resets your whole body as much as you possibly can. And I highly recommend it because it made me get active. It made me do something. It made me eat a bunch, and then it made me sleep hard, like super hard for
Mhm.
jet lag. So, but then you also find out that swimming pools, I don't know if we talked about it in the podcast. I've talked about it with all my friends. Swimming pools have different rules in different countries.
Oh.
So in China, you must wear a swim cap.
Okay.
And I didn't know that.
Oh.
And I got yelled at.
Oh, no.
And I was like, I don't know what you're saying, and I don't know what you want me to do. I'm happy to do it. And then it's like they like pointed, and I was like, I don't have one. And then they gave me one. And so then I put on a
Oh,
swim
okay.
cap.
So you're still able to
And
swim.
it was fine. It was totally fine. It was good. But yeah, really interesting stuff. Now I know. So when I'm in China, every time I go there, I ask for one. I'm like, I need a swim cap. Like, swim cap. I need a swim cap. You want me to wear a swim cap? I got to wear a swim cap. They're like, yes, absolutely. Like that's just what they do. But it's not what we do. Okay, so I wish you both luck on your swim test then, because it
Thank
seems
you.
like this is going to
We'll
be
be
a
needing
trend.
it.
Both of you brought up almost exactly the same thing: dancing or dance class
Yeah.
and swimming related
Mhm.
elements, which is really weird. Did you guys know that you were both going to say that?
We did
I
not
don't-
pre-plan that.
So
But
it seems
maybe-
like you two have to do these things together. Although you're not doing surf class.
I've gone
Taylor, you
surfing
just wanna-
before though, but that wasn't wise.
You went surfing when you didn't know how to swim?
Like I said, I won't drown most likely. So
She says she needs to learn how to do like the strokes. Like she wants to properly know how to swim, which
Mhm.
is the thing. Like you do need to know that.
it was a lot of standing water in Santa Monica, but I will be in different dance classes. However, if you ever want to practice surfing, but I learn how to swim, that would be a great time.
There you
Okay,
go.
we can figure that out.
Are you signed up for the surf class itself, Safia? Like you are signed up?
No, I'm not signed up because it technically conflicts with one of my classes, but I don't know if I'm going to stay in that class. But we're still working out my schedule right now.
Everything's in flux.
Yeah.
Everything's in flux. Because they surf class they go to El Porto, right?
I believe so. They go Friday mornings out there, I believe.
Very cool.
Which a lot of
Uh,
seniors are also like, why would you be taking Friday class? So I also,
But it's getting up on
Also-
Friday morning to go surfing. It's a very completely
yeah,
different thing.
it's not even
Yeah.
class.
I don't think Friday classes are really as bad as people make them seem, as long as they're things you like to do. Like it's one thing
Yeah.
if like you have a mandatory class and it falls on Friday, but if it's something you chose to do, whether an elective or just
Exactly.
of interest, it's not that bad.
I just think there's this expectation that you're supposed to like have a different life in college because there's certain students that do, and then you guys are like, no, we do class all the time. Like it's just what we do. And like once you know what your expectation is, you go after that, and you don't live off of this
Mhm.
fantasy.
Yeah.
Because the other hard part too is like let's say someone else gets really used to having class 3, 4 days a week, and then they got to go to work. Like that is going to be a culture shock. Like
Yeah.
you've got to go to the real world. Things change.
I will say something about working 4 days a week. It's much better than working 5 days a week, at least for my internship.
You did 4 days a week,
Yeah.
or you did a 980?
It's like they do 4 days in person, 1 day remote. So that's kind of what I mean by at least like working. You're still
Oh,
all
okay.
5 days.
Because there are some engineering jobs like if you were working like Northrop Grumman, a lot of the defense industry, they do what's called a 980. Or this is pre-pandemic. I don't know what they do now, but it would be you do 5 days in the office, then you do 4 days. But in that 4 day, in the total of 9 days, you would have accomplished 80 hours of work.
8 hours, yeah. Like it's an extra hour one of those weeks somehow.
Exactly. So you just kind of crank it up a little bit. And so that used to be a lot of the engineering hours for the defense industry. Now, when people are hybrid and remote, everybody has such a different schedule and philosophy and practice, and it's all a little bit different. Every company's different. So Microsoft does 4 days in the office, 1 day remote.
It depends on the team, but yeah, that's what my team was doing.
Is everybody in your team remote on the same day, or you guys rotate?
No, so it's all flex. Like some individuals are completely 100% remote, some are 100% in person, and then some set up like a 3 or 4 day schedule, which is a little bit weird that they combine these different schedules, but we all collaborate together.
Yeah, that works. That's really cool. Awesome. Well, with that, this is the week before Thanksgiving, and I'm curious for the two of you, Taylor, with home being Gainesville, are you going back home for Thanksgiving? You're staying out here for Thanksgiving? What are you doing?
I will be going back home. I have a conference this weekend, and then less than 24 hours later, I'll be on a flight to go home.
Holy cow!
Exciting.
Okay, cool. And Safia, obviously home. So will like your sister be coming from New York, or are you just hanging?
Just hanging. My other sister, she lives at home, so I'll be hanging out with her mainly. And then a lot of my hometown friends are all coming back from the East Coast, so we're going to be hanging out.
Awesome. Do either of you have Thanksgiving traditions, things that like have to happen, you want to happen, you can't wait to happen? Is there certain things that you and your family do? Are there certain dishes that must be on the table?
Oh, I feel like when I was younger, there was more tradition. Now it's more like, can we get everyone into the same room?
Can we even make this work?
Yeah. So it's just nice as long as we have the company.
That's fair. Have you guys heard of turducken?
Mm-hmm. I've wanted my entire life to have a turducken, and I've never had one, and it's all I want.
Come to Thanksgiving in Gainesville. We have them every year.
You do turducken every year?
Every year for like the past 5 or 6 years.
Oh my
What
God.
is am I saying
So
right?
it's a chicken stuffed in a duck, stuffed in a turkey. It's probably the
wow.
best thing you'll ever hear me talk about.
It's meat on meat on meat. It's like
That's
the most
insane.
amazing thing in the world.
It's so good. Honestly, if you get extras, I'll try to bring some back.
I get it now.
And you can get it flavored like New Orleans barbecue.
Yeah. So you guys don't make it, you order it.
Yeah, we order it, and so you order it and it comes in like not a freezer, but the foam portable freezer situations, and then you cook it however you want. Fry it, bake it, broil, all that kind of stuff.
So I've heard mixed reviews, even though I still want this, of whether it's good because there's so much stuff in there, like some things dry out or the seasoning, or it's a little weird. But is it what's the benefit of turducken? I want to eat it just to say that I've had it. But what is the big deal?
You just got to cook it properly. Like I think cooking it slow and baking it is either the easiest one, or we've also deep fried it one time. It's the best. The benefit is just like you said, having all those meats at once. It's exotic, you could say. It's better than a regular turkey. Like I don't really like individual turkeys; they can be a little dry. So,
got it. Yeah. So, have you heard about the Pumpacapple pie cake?
Now I think you're making things up.
I am not, because this is also something that I want. But the turducken of desserts.
Okay.
Pumpkin. What else?
I'm going to send you guys a link. I know this is great radio that no one's going to be able to see, but people can Google this.
You have the link ready to go.
Oh, because I knew I was going to talk about it. The Pumpacapple pie cake. It is pumpkin pie in a pumpkin spice cake, a pecan pie inside of a chocolate cake, and an apple pie inside of a traditional spice cake.
I don't know how I feel about this.
They're doing much.
Yeah, right.
Like that is six different desserts. 3 layers. Each layer has a pie inside of a cake.
This is insane.
So unfortunately, I don't like pie, but I could see.
What is wrong with pie? What is wrong with you? What's going on with you?
I have to back her on that one. I
What's wrong with pie?
think the only pie I can eat is like a banana cream, like pumpkin pie. Mm-mm.
I don't like pumpkin
No,
either.
no on
Yeah.
pumpkin pie. Are you serious? Like this is
No
the thing?
pumpkin
No pumpkin pie?
No pumpkin pie.
Someone offered me pumpkin pie today. It was like,
Why? Just you don't like it.
texture. I have a
pumpkin.
texture thing. So like any pies, nuts and yogurt, watermelon, that's it with
Really?
me.
None of those have the same texture.
Exactly. But they're all like uniquely textured things. Like even granola and yogurt was a big step for me.
Oh,
That's
like you
crazy.
crunchified it so it worked a little bit better.
Yes, but like I used to hate it growing up.
Oh, okay. Okay. So what is there a acceptable traditional Thanksgiving dessert for either of you?
Banberry pie.
Banberry pie from Marie
Bananas?
Callender's.
Yep. My
That's from Marie
family.
Callender's, isn't it?
Yeah. There's a Marie Callender's shop 10 minutes from my house, and my family orders a Banberry pie every year. That's our only like quote unquote tradition.
Is it banana and strawberry?
Yeah, it's delicious.
I remember this when I was a kid. Okay.
It looks like cheesecake, no?
It's like custard and then cream and then
It's
strawberry
a banana
banana.
cream pie with just strawberries in it, right?
Yeah.
I see.
And then it has like a little, I don't know. I think like the custard is a little different just because the strawberry, I don't know, tastes
Okay,
a little
so
better.
my next question is going to lead me to my following question after that, but pecan pie? No?
I'm allergic to pecans.
You're allergic to pecans. And then the consistency of that gel-like stuff, Taylor, is going to gross you out, right?
Yes, and I also don't like it. So
So next question. Pecan.
Pe Ooh, now I don't know.
I guess I just
Pecan.
said pecan.
What did I say? Pecan?
Interchangeable.
I feel like it's interchangeable, and I don't intentionally say one way or the other, and I find myself going back. I say pecan. I think I say pecan. Pecan. Pecan.
Can you guys
Pecan
tell I'm
pie.
hungry? Because I've
I
definitely brought
think
this conversation back to food. I need to
I'm
go.
down. Oh, I brought it into Thanksgiving, so I was just like, because I'm thinking about Thanksgiving, and then I'm thinking about that the second link I sent you guys for the pie cakin, which is not the 6 layers, but this is the pie cakin, right? So this is
Right.
interesting, and I think I might order this. Like
This
this
also looks
is
good.
Oh,
the
know
pie
what's good,
cakin
though?
is a little more simple,
We gotta
but
go back to the
I
basics.
still don't know how I feel about
Nuggets,
it.
bundt cakes.
Oh,
nothing but cakes.
my
Yes,
family is
Nothing
big
but
on nothing but cakes.
nothing but cakes is dangerous.
that's the basics, and it's so good though.
It is so filled with sugar. Like you're like, oh my God, this is delicious. And then you get 5 bites in, you're like, I'm going to be sick.
Don't look at the nutrition facts. Don't think
It
about
is
it. It's
so
not.
bad. It is so good. It's so bad. There was a moment we used to do a long time ago. A lot of my admission travel stories are related to interviews, which we don't do anymore. It's a good thing that we do. But the reason that a lot of my stories are related to interviews is because interviews would be 3-day trips where we were interviewing students for 3 days in a row. And so
goodness.
basically we're stuck inside of a hotel conference room for 3 days interviewing hundreds of students. And that means that we would all kind of like have to stay together for 36, 48 hours. Like it was a long time, almost 72 hours together. And so you go to meal to meal to meal together. And there was one place in one very specific area where like we always knew on Sunday or one of the days we would go over to Nothing Bundt Cakes in our like afternoon break, and we would load up and we would get so sugarfied, and I would every time I would look forward to it, and every time I would get sick, I'd be like, I don't feel good. I just had way too many of these Nothing Bundt Cakes, because you'd get all the different types and we take different bites from all of them. And they're just, it's so good, but it's so bad.
What was your favorite flavor out of them? Because this is also a contentious debate in my family.
So that's my issue. I do like all of them. I Red Velvet is hard to turn away from Nothing Bundt Cakes, but they have that like lemon blueberry one. Is that
Oh,
right?
I've
Blueberry
never
is
had that one.
delicious.
It's amazingly like very tasty. I would probably go between those two. And every time the like regular chocolate chip one, I think I'm always let down by that one.
Mm,
If that makes any sense. I have
yeah.
strong feelings about nothing but cakes.
Clearly.
I always get their lemon. Their strawberry is really good.
Mm.
Have you
And
had their raspberry white chocolate?
not a white chocolate fan.
That's the one I get sick on.
My
It's that
mom
bite.
loves that one.
I take that bite. I'm like, yes. And then like a couple minutes later, I'm like, no, it is just not a good experience for me. I love it, but it's not a good experience. There's something about it. It's super, super sugary.
Yeah.
I'm actually
That's
looking
the
at the
flavor.
nutrition facts right now, and fun fact, that one actually does not have the highest sugar.
Really? I don't know.
Probably
Something
because
about it feels extra sweet.
the raspberries are extra sweet, so it probably has that in there. Huh. Well, anyways, back to the dessert podcast. Very cool. I'm glad to hear it. I'm excited for both of you to have your Thanksgivings and seeing whatever family you can see and taking a small little break. And then we're back. You got one more week of classes after that, and then you go into finals. Yes.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I
Back on
wish
it.
you all. What's that, Taylor?
Oh, I'm just saying, then we're back home right after.
And then you go right back. So best luck to you. Safe travels for everyone listening. I hope we have one more episode before Thanksgiving, right? No,
It's
is this it?
this is
No,
the
this is it.
episode before Thanksgiving, and then we have
That's why I
one.
talked about it. This is what happens when you record with me at the end of the day. I'm just toast. My brain is done. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone that's out there, for all who celebrate. And outside of that, we'll be back next week with another episode of Viterbi Voices. Safia, we have what? Two
more
left?
episodes. Yes.
2 more episodes. So next week is the penultimate. I love when I get to use that word. Next week is the penultimate episode of Viterbi Voices for the fall 2024 season. 2 more episodes before we close up shop for the winter break. We will close up shop, and then we will be back in second week of January-ish, around there. I can't remember. But other than that, we still got 2 more episodes. So we will see you back next week with another episode of Viterbi Voices. Bye, everybody.